got three IDs saying different things, that's impersonation. That's fraud. I'm gonna have the Deputy Sheikh read Circle 7 Quran, magistrate and the subject. Yeah, it's short, right? Yeah, it's pretty short. Yeah.
This is chapter 29, Holy Instruction from the Prophet, Magistrate and Subject. O thou, the favorite of heaven, whom the sons of men, thy equals, have agreed to raise to sovereign power and set as a ruler over themselves. Consider the ends and importance of their trust, far more than the dignity and height of thy station. Thou art cloth in purple, and seated on a throne. The crown of majesty invested thy temples. The scepter of power is placed in thy hand, but not for thyself were these signs given, not even for thy own, but the good of thy kingdom. The glory of a king is the welfare of his people. His power and dominion rest on the hearts of his subjects. The mind of a great prince is exalted with the grandeur of his situation. He evolveth high things, and searcheth for business worthy of his power. He calleth together the wise men of his kingdom. He counseleth among them with freedom, and heareth the opinions of them all. He looketh among his people with discernment. He discovereth the abilities of men, and employeth them according to their merits. His magistrates are just, his ministers are wise, and the favorite of his bosom deceiveth him not. He smileth on the arts, and they flourish. The sciences improve beneath the culture of his hand. With the learned and ingenious he delighteth himself. He kindeth in their breast and emulation, and the glory of his kingdom is exalted by their labors. The spirit of the merchant who extendeth his commerce, the skill of the farmer who enricheth his lands, the ingenuity of the artist, the improvements of the scholar, all these he honoreth with his favor, and rewardeth with his bounty. He planteth new colonies, he buildeth strong ships, he openeth rivers for convenience, he formeth harbors for safety, his people abound in riches, and the strength of his kingdom is increasing. He frameth his statutes with equity and wisdom. His subjects enjoy the fruits of their labor and security, and their happiness consists in the observance of the law. He foundeth his judgments on the principle of mercy, but in the punishment of offenders he is strict and impartial. His ears are open to the complaints of his subjects. He restraineth the hands of their oppressors, and he delivereth them from their tyranny. His people therefore look up to him as a father. With reverence and love, they consider him as the guardian of all they enjoy. Their affection to him begetteth in his breast a love of the public. The security of their happiness is the object of his care. No murmurs against him arise in their hearts. The machinists of his enemies endanger not the state. His subjects are faithful and firm in his cause. They stand in his defense as wall of brass. The army of a tyrant flieth before them as chaff before the wind. Security and peace bless the dwelling of his people, and glory and strength encircle his throne forever. Islam.
Islam. There's a lot of key points in that particular chapter.
Islam.
And you can get an understanding of an individual who's running a particular, whether it be in a courtroom, the judge could be considered a magistrate, the subjects could be considered the jury, or individual going on trial, or it can go back to ancient times when you had the magistrate or the king, and his subjects were his subject citizens. And what's expected of that particular judge or that particular magistrate as far as being impartial, so on and so forth. So we have to keep in mind all of these key points, especially dealing with the legal system. You have to be, because in all honesty, because these courts are Christian-based and they're going off of the Christian black slave codes, you want to stay out of the courts as much as possible. If you can. If you can resolve an issue out of court, do that. I had a situation, somebody hit my car. I said, yo, let's resolve it out of court. Your insurance is going to go up, mine's going to go up. Just pay me for the body work, whatever. You know what I mean? Always try to resolve your issues out of court. Once you get into that court system, the court system is about making money. You got court fees, legal documents cost money, lawyers cost money, so on and so forth. Public defenders are working on the side of the court and prosecution. They write sign their name, Esquire. All right? If you now, a good lawyer costs money. Costs a lot of money. So a lot of our people get railroaded because they're not financial enough to hire a high-priced attorney. Our perspective a lot of times is to have a legal counsel. We're your legal counsel. But you make a special appearance in the court. All right, papaya and persona. You make your special appearance in the court. But we're really not supposed to be in their courts. We're supposed to have our own courts. All right? You're best to present yourself or represent yourself, not somebody else. So anytime you can resolve your issue outside of the court, whether it be property damage, whatever, you know what I mean? Situation with, custody of a child, IRS, taxes, try to do all of that outside of the court. Going to the court should be the last resort. All right? But you trust me, you don't want to be going back and forth to court. It's a lot of stress and it's a lot of headache. A lot of headache with that.
Just to add on about that chapter, it's also in Deuteronomy 17, when you supposed to pick the judges, how they're supposed to be uncorrupt, they're not supposed to take gifts and all that, and that coincides, and that's part of our laws. That you're supposed to pick these people, but like you're saying, this whole system is Christian-based, so it's corrupt, and now we're stuck in a situation that we're in whenever we go into the court system. But we have our own, and then we pick our own judges, our own magistrate, whatever, we wouldn't have to deal with this, but they would know and follow the laws.
Islam, and you see what he said, according to Deuteronomy, and even according to the Constitution, they're supposed to be unbiased, uncorrupt, They're supposed to uphold the Constitution, right? They're supposed to uphold the Constitution. But we can see over the past couple of years, there's been numerous cases with corrupt judges taking money under the table. Then I think they found a judge floating in the river or something, an Asiatic sister floating in the river or something, right? A couple months ago, right? It was two, yeah.
Somebody else. I can't remember who the other
saying they committed suicide. So these are things that we really have to, consider and take it to full perspective. So I'm going to get back into color caste system, how people being identified, skin hue, the whole nine. We talked about it again. We just read it. We had the Sheik read it from the one-on-ones, black, Negro, colored. A man can't be black, Negro, and colored. A lot of this comes from European nomenclature. European nomenclature, the system of naming things, creating a divine scheme to reclassify, so on and so forth. Attaching misnomers to people. Now, a good reference in regards to how people identified nomenclature, skin hue, is Ancient and Modern Britons by David McRitchie. It's a volume 1 and it's a volume 2. That should be in your library, both of them. Volume 1 and Volume 2. And this kind of shows, understanding language, how certain places, you know, we just was talking about Conor McGregor, the original Irish, the original people from Great Britain were dark-hued people.
The name of the book is Ancient and Modern Britons, Volume 1 and 2. And Ancient and Modern